Hi everyone, I'm Tally, this is Farrell and we're Bored of It, and welcome to Bored of It's top 20 games of all time as of 2025. But today we're going to be going through our numbers 20 to 11 and then we're going to do the rest in a separate video.
Yes, so we're going to go through the crap games and then the good games.
How dare you, the ones I've selected are of the finest quality.
No, the best of the worst. No, these are all going to be great games, and it's like tough to make this list because things alter and change depending on mood and if you've played them and things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's just get straight into it.
Yep.
Yeah?
Okay, go for it, straight in. So maybe just to say that our lists are secret from each other and we each have our own list. We haven't revealed to the other person. So when we reveal each game, it's going to be a little surprise for me when you reveal yours and vice versa. So
who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Alrighty then.
My number 20 is Lost in the Shuffle.
Wow. Well, why don't you say a bit about it and then I'll chime in?
Yep. So this is a puzzle game, basically. So it's literally a deck of cards, kind of standard deck of cards, but there's a bunch of puzzles, riddles, all different things within there. And it is accompanied by a website, and you basically have to just look through the cards and figure out what the answers to the puzzles are. Really is, that's it. So each card kind of has a corresponding puzzle, but some cards have multiple puzzles on them. Some cards are part of a puzzle which is involving like multiple cards. And it's just a bit of a logic riddle puzzle game. So you kind of can work on it as a team, let's say. So we worked on it together, and you can do that exactly how you please. So sometimes we would just look through the deck. You just start by picking out a card that looks interesting to you and trying to find the puzzle. We would work on our own things, but then sometimes we would kind of work together and say, hey, I can't figure this out. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Although a lot of the times I don't like getting help from Farrell. I want to figure out my own card. And that's it, basically.
Yeah. So Lost in the Shuffle, I think this would be like for me an honorable mention. It would have been floating around. I didn't consider it particularly, and I think it's more that, not that I don't accept it on your list, it's more that for me it's like I'm doing it a disservice by saying it's more like an exit game, but that's, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get that.
It's just like, I think we always know from like end of year lists and stuff that I'm more puritanical about my list than yours in terms of like what goes on it, because you're more like freeform. But I'm glad to see it's on there because it is by far the best puzzle game we've played. We spent like way too much time at the table night after night playing it. And just honestly check it out and you'll see it on our end of year lists.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've watched any of our videos like this before, it just tends to be that you are very analytical about yours, and I just go on vibes quite frankly. So did I enjoy something? Yes or no? And for the rest of my list, there's kind of games that are similar bunched up together, let's say. I do still take into account how like technically brilliant a game is, let's say. But I feel like this deserved to be on there just from the amount of fun that we had with it and how unique it is as an experience. So yeah, I wanted it to be on there.
Yeah, so I guess we can go to my number 20.
Go for it.
Which I think has dropped a few spaces, and that's just because I think we haven't really played it in a long time. And that is Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
So this is a kind of pirate Euro. It's very Scythe-like in many ways.
Yeah.
If you've played that, very popular game. But it has a really cool, like kind of deck building element. So you have this deck and it doesn't change. But what does happen is you can kind of buy upgrades for your crew. So then instead of having one action, maybe they have 4 actions now, or, you know, something like that, right? So your cards get better and you can do more, and you know there's all kinds of cool elements. You're defending islands, you're collecting treasure. There's like all different ways you can go. You can just grease people. You can become like an economist in terms of farming money. It's a lot of fun. And I think there's a lot of cool elements about it. We love the theme, and I think it's just dropped a few spaces because we haven't played it. But there's, I think, the final expansion coming out this year. Being delivered, so I'm sure that it'll probably be up a few spaces. But yeah, terrific Euro game, basically. Great theme, great fun.
Yeah, just as a maybe spoiler for the rest of the list, but it didn't make it to mine, but it was on my shortlist. So we have an Excel sheet basically of every game we've pretty much ever played, at least since we started the channel. And I started my list by narrowing down from all of that what I felt deserved to be on there. And then obviously you go and then rank them. And it was on my kind of shortlist for this, but it just didn't quite make it. And I agree. I think it's because other games that we've maybe just played more recently have taken over.
Yeah.
But it is a great game.
All right, you're number 19.
Yeah, need to
Need to
go
check.
back and consult. So my number 19, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. My number 19 is Just One.
Wow.
So Just One,
You haven't even played it.
what do you mean? We've played so many games of Just One.
I thought
Are
there
you
was one
joking?
point where it was like me, your mum, and Derek playing it for like hours, and you were off doing other stuff, like in the bathroom.
That's why it's a great game. You can leave everyone to it and just go
Can't
off and
remember
do
where
your
you
own
were.
thing.
But yeah, so Just One.
So yeah, it's a little word family way party game, if you will, kind of in the realms of Codenames to Crypto, that kind of thing. So you just basically have a bunch of cards and they all have 5 words on them, and you as the clue receiver just picks a number, but you don't know what the word is. And then the other people on the team, because it's cooperative, you play together, has to give another word that will make you guess the right word. But the little twist is that the other team members, if they choose the same word, both of them get eliminated. So you've got to try and think of something which is unique enough that other players won't also put the same thing, whilst also making sure that the clue receiver obviously is able to get it. So I've put it on here. You got it for me for my birthday last year, and it's just
Great
gone
success.
up. Yeah, exactly. Good present. Well done. It's made it to number 19.
Yeah.
Just something that we get out with the family, basically. And yeah, I think it's a really nice addition to that kind of type of collection of games, basically. Cooperative word team
ever
games.
growing.
Yeah, I think it's just super fun to try and think of different clues, basically, to try and get the person to guess what you're saying. So yeah, maybe, and again, I go on vibes, and I just think we've had some nice times playing it. You got it for me the birthday that we went to Tallinn, so it makes me think of nice times as well.
Well, it's good fun. So my number 19 is, I think it was around the same space last year, and that is Lords of Vegas.
Yeah.
I think Lords of Vegas is kind of this like semi-gambling, businessy type game where you're building casinos, but you are like speculating on which casinos will pay out because a card is flipped every turn, and that kind of tells you what casinos pay out. So you are like playing the odds, but obviously sometimes the odds don't come out. Sometimes we've seen it where, because each color has like a set amount, and if, I don't know, let's say you start the game and there's already 5 blue cards drawn, you're like, well, there's not a lot of blue cards like left because you also don't see every card in the game. Some will be like cut out. And then, you have a friend who like buys 3 blue casinos and you're like, crazy, dumb idea. And then he gets paid out like 4 turns in a row and suddenly,
So true.
Wins a game because he had so much money to do things with. But anyway.
Highs are highs and the lows are lows.
So I think this is one that we've played a lot the last kind of year, like further back, but we introduced it to some friends. We've just got it out a lot. I think it's like a really great game that is very much like old school games you would play with your family, board games, but more modern and fun and silly. It's great for beginners because of the luck element. It's just a lot of fun. And you can play it with a lot of different people, I think. And I just really enjoy the gambling, the highs and the lows, the rivalries. There's just a lot of fun in this game. So yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's one of those ones that you can't really predict, like you say. So you playing just for the fun of playing, and it is always quite dramatic as well. So yeah, just a good old like kind of clean family fun, basically. Cool. So my number 19. How are you remembering all of yours off the top of your head?
I studied.
Okay, I did not study.
Well, didn't you only write this list 3 seconds ago? I'm surprised you're not still writing it.
No. I was tweaking it because there was a few things I was unsure of. Actually, Laws of Vegas was one of the ones I was unsure whether to put on, but it's not on my list. But like you say, we've played it recently. My number 18 is Far Away.
Well, I'm not surprised at all to find that on your list.
Did you think it would be higher though? Maybe.
I didn't really think about it, but I expected it to be on there somewhere.
Yeah, so this is another kind of lightweight family game. It's basically a kind of card drafting little tableau builder.
I suppose it is kind of like a family game, but I also think you'd like
Blow
blow
grandma's mind.
Yeah,
sure,
she would like start crying.
No, that's true. It is just like taking some cards and putting some symbols together and getting some points. But the little trick is that you score backwards. So you kind of put your cards in order as you take them, and you take 8, I think it is. But it is all about getting some synergies going with, you need X symbol or the amount of connections that you have between different things. But everything gets flipped over at the end, so it's face down, and then you flip everything up one by one. So it really relies on what's face up at the time to score. So you really have to think about in what order you are playing things, because actually if you're relying on symbols to be available because you score, X for every of this symbol, if it's face down because it's the first card you played, then it's not going to score. Yeah. So it's super easy in a way. You just take a card, put it down, but the implications of what you take and when you play is like,
Yeah, so this is a very clever, very good game. Very clever, very portable. Very
little box.
Brain burning in a small amount of time. I mean, it's a great game to be on someone's top 20. So I 100% like that it's there. But you really took to this.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so. I think when you first play it, you don't really get it.
No.
You have to go through one game to okay, that's why you need to think about this. So then when it clicks, it's like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, your number 18?
So my number 18 is Cascadia. And this has been since we first played it, an all-time favorite for me.
Yeah, wasn't it your number 1 of the year that we got it? Or it was very high up?
1 or 2, yeah. And I just think, so it's kind of a tile drafting game. So you're drafting a pair of a tile and an animal. And then you put the tile somewhere in your tableau and the animal somewhere in your tableau on a kind of tile that can take that type of animal. And that's it, basically. And you're trying to meet scoring cards, but also have big groups of the same terrain adjacent to each other, because that gets you some points. And I just think it's a really brilliant family weight game. I think what it does for me is it threads this needle perfectly of being so approachable and simple and cozy and chill, while still being quite
crunchy.
Yeah, it gives you a very solid mental burn in where to put things and the different ways. And, there's kind of, there's rough points where there's things you don't want in the marketplace and making the best of a bad situation. And there's good times where you're getting what you need. And it's a game that I think is an all-timer for me in that class. I don't think any game really does it better in what it's trying to do. And we've got it out in the last couple of months a few times. And I think I've really enjoyed getting back to it, basically.
Yeah. I think it's one that we would probably always keep in our collection. It's it's interesting because we sometimes talk about games as not moving on so much, and you can get tired of it. Yeah. Even though that is technically the same thing every time, I don't think I could ever really get tired of it.
There's something weird about it in that way.
Yeah. Cool.
That's a good point.
Should we move on? So number 17. My number 17 is Rustling Leaves.
Wow. I wouldn't, again, I'm not surprised, but I am surprised it's higher than some of those other games you've already said.
I think for me, again, because I'm rating based on good times, we tend to take this one on holiday with us. So it's
our go-to.
Yeah, it's a little roll and write essentially. And you just rolling some dice and you basically drawing on the little map that you have and you score.
I'm just thinking one of my favorite things about this is because you roll 2 dice and the numbers on them tell you the size of the box you draw.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than somebody rolling and then rolling like, I can't remember what the biggest is, but like 4 times
I think it's
4.
a 4x4, yeah.
And which is like devastating because the bigger you roll, the less of the game there is.
Yeah.
And the harder it is to like do anything. Because sometimes the scoring makes you gamble that you can finish off something.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny that someone rolls a 4x4 and everyone just slates them.
Good
Everyone's
one.
like, oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You make me sick. And that's what I was laughing at. It just really
Exactly.
made me think of that.
Yeah, so you draw basically
Boo.
grids of 1x2, 3x2, like 4x4, which is, like you say, the worst one that you can get. Because you have to select one thing within the grid basically to score for that shape that you're drawing. And there's a few different ways to score, but like you say, some of it, I mean, it's exponential. You have to complete it to get it. So it's about gambling. You can say, okay, I'm going to stop now.
Yeah.
Because whenever you can't place a shape in, you get negative points. But there's different seasons. So winter, summer, spring, autumn, and they all have different little gimmicks, let's say. It's essentially the same thing, same mechanisms, but you score for, I don't know, snowy trees or butterflies or whatever, depending on the season. But yeah, again, I just have a really nice time with this. I can imagine us, like we've played it in so many different places because it is so portable as well. So it brings me a nice feeling.
Yeah, this is one of our all-time favourites in terms of roll and writes.
The box is absolutely mullered.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the worst condition games that we have.
It's been so many bags and suitcases and countries.
Around.
Yeah. So what number are we on? What number was that? 17. Okay, so my number 17 is Waterfall Park. And this is a re-implementation of Chinatown. It's a pure negotiation game. You're kind of given some random tiles and some random locations on a board. And you want locations next to each other and you want matching tiles, but obviously everything's random. So it's all about negotiating, and whoever gets the most money wins. And you can kind of trade like anything pretty much, like money, locations. You can swap, you can kind of nickel and dime people. You can, and I think when we reviewed this, we weren't down on it, but we were just like,
it's fine.
It's fine. This it's good fun, but you know, it is what it is. It's nothing special. And then I think we started playing more with family, and then that's when it really came into its own.
Yeah.
There's something about playing a negotiation game with your family, and I'm sure a lot of you will know what I mean, that really just elevates it. Like your mum going, I don't want your smelly old clown factory.
Yeah.
Just, it lives in my head rent free, right? Just like, just stuff like that. The interactions
so
of your
funny.
family. And that's why the more we've played it, it's just gone up and up in my estimation. And I would say this kind of has replaced Libertalia, which I had around the same space last year. And that was a similar thing where the more I played it, we reviewed it and I was like, eh. And the more we played it, the more I was like, this is actually quite brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's kind of knocked that out because I think the negotiation makes it easier for people to get in, but it gives a lot more laughter.
Yeah, agree. We've had some really great times with this one. It's just interesting because most of what the game happens, and I've said this before, but like off the board, it is all about just negotiating. So I think it's probably quite group dependent.
Yes, 100%.
If people are maybe shy around each other and don't want to negotiate and go all in, then it probably wouldn't come across so well. But like you say, when we've been playing it with family, absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, that this is really group dependent. So, you know, don't expect to play at a con with people you've never met and be like, Board of It said this was top 20 games of all time, right?
Yeah.
It is very much situationally dependent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on.
16?
I think we're on number 16. Yeah. Okay, my number 16.
So clever.
Even I don't know really how to feel about this one. I'm not sure if it should like be on this list or be higher. It's very confusing. But anyway, it's Ultimate Railroad. Yeah. It's a bit of a change up from the previous ones that I've had on my list.
I was really close with So Clever,
now. Yeah, that should get an honourable mention for me. So the heaviest one that I've put on my list so far, this really is quite a heavy one. I don't even know how to describe this game. It's about making a railroad, basically, and there's some different maps. It's a bit of a kind of old school worker placement game.
Very brutal.
Very brutal, where the worker placement is. But even like the actions are just very tight. You can't always do what you want to do. But just the way that you're building the railroad is quite difficult. Because you have like a basic railroad. You have 3 different tracks on your player board. I think it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, it can depend, I think.
But you have to kind of start with the basic track and then you upgrade the tracks, but the upgraded tracks can never overtake the basic track. So it's a lot of forward planning with trying to get each like track level to the end of the railroad. But you've got those pesky other players getting in the way, basically, and taking up all of the worker placement spaces. You always want to do something.
Cutthroat, very.
Super cutthroat. So, yeah, just when I was looking through the list, that is such a great game. I really wanted to put it on my list, but I think it just doesn't get higher because we don't play it, like, super often.
We should, though. I think this is one that we've said a few times lately that we got to a point where we were pretty swamped with just reviews and videos and stuff that we had to do. So we were never playing anything in our collection. It was always whatever was new. And now we've got to a very, very good level and we've like kind of stopped taking so much and become very stable that we do spend a lot of time playing older games.
Yeah.
And this is one for sure. I'd love to get back and have a few games of and explore the expansions because some of them I think we've only played like once the expansion maps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a terrific
intro.
Euro.
Yeah, we have a little tray where we put things that make sure that they're on the first priority list, basically.
Yeah.
We should put it on there.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, no, terrific Euro and would love to play more. I think it plays in a great time. Like 2-player game can only be 40 minutes, but it's kind of the mental load of a 2-hour game
100%.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
So brutal. So my number 16 is, and this could actually, based on a game we just talked about in our other video, be swapped out. But this game is Manchester Madness. And this is, I think, new to my top 20, but it's just because we've played so much of it. And I do really like, the kind of theme and atmosphere and like vibe.
Yeah.
I think the app implementation is good fun. I think it allows for a lot to happen. I like the scenario design, particularly in some of the expansions, where this is, you're trying to stop kind of chthonic evil, you're running around a map, you're investigating, you're fighting off otherworldly horrors. So, I mean, you know the deal, right? But recently we've been playing Eldritch Horror, and I feel like in future years they could swap, because Eldritch Horror is a game that we had like almost at the start of playing board games. It was like our first heavy board game and we played it a lot, and then we've never played it until the last month while we've had the channel, and we've really enjoyed getting back to it, and that can actually flip-flop I think if we start playing that more. But I just we've played a lot of these types of games, so I wanted to put one on there. I think we've played it a lot. I think it was on our top 10 most played by like minutes spent playing, so yeah
Agree. Okay. Next.
Yeah.
So what are we on now? 15. 20. Yeah, okay. So my number 15 is Waterfall Park.
Crossover already.
Yeah. Not too much to say about that other than same reasons as you as well. We like it. So just great laughs, basically. Guess I just rate it a little bit higher than you because, again, I'm going for feeling than like technical brilliance a lot of the time. So, yeah, I think not too much else to say.
Yeah, all right, I'll go straight to my 15, which is a new one. So, new entry to the list, and this is a weird one because it might just like go straight off and never be heard of again.
Okay.
But I just want to put it for the times we had, and I think we both thought it was excellent, and it is Dead Cells, the board game.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a cooperative game based on the video game, and it kind of, I think Slay the Spire, the board game, was more popular and it did kind of the same thing. They're like kind of the same genre of games, video games in some ways. So this, went a little bit more under the radar, but I'm a huge fan of Dead Cells, the video game. So I was really excited, cooperative board game, and then we played it. and you don't know what to expect in the translation to a board game, and you knew nothing about nothing with Dead Cells.
No.
And we both really, really enjoyed it. I think it was very high on my top 10 list of last year, if not top. I can't remember exactly. I think you really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was like, I think, some of the best cooperative experiences we've had together. I think we really enjoyed playing and discovering and doing the, because it's a roguelike, so you're doing the, you go as far as you can and then you die, but you get a little better, you get some upgrades, you might get some powers, so then you go a little bit further next time and kind of running against that brick wall. And I just thought it was a kind of brilliant production, brilliant experience, brilliant co-op game, and we just both really, really enjoyed it. And I just have really fond memories of us playing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That kind of thing probably would never be on my top 20, but I absolutely agree that it's a brilliant game.
Yeah.
And like you said, I had no idea about the video game, and I still really, really enjoyed it. I think, like you said, that whole process of going in a loop and getting a little bit better is quite satisfying. And it does give you that little bit addictive feeling like a video game that you just want to keep going and trying again. So I think the implementation of the feeling of that kind of thing was so brilliantly done.
Yeah.
But not on my list, but really good choice. Okay, so number 14 now. My number 14 is Zoo Tycoon.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought you might.
That is surprising. We both really like it, but I'm surprised it's so high.
Yeah, I think it's probably the one on my list that I was not most unsure about because I've put it so high at number 14. But I think it's one that could easily completely drop off as well.
That makes sense.
I don't know. It's really hard to describe my feelings on this, but this is a heavy Euro implementation also of a video game, obviously.
Official adaptation.
The 90s. It is very heavy and complex with a lot of different kind of cascading actions and things to think about. I just really enjoy it. I just think it balances being quite complex with a lot of fun in a way, because you have the baby breeding and all of this, and you can take an animal that accidentally overbreeds, and then we're just kind of joking, oh my god, all these ostriches, what am I going to do with them? I just really enjoy playing it. I find it really satisfying, and it is quite fiddly in a way because it's all about kind of managing the different animals that you have in your zoo. You need to make sure that they're happy and that you have a high welfare score, but you also want to get new animals because that creates buzz for your zoo. And I just think the whole process that you go around and get new animals in and managing everything, it's a tricky puzzle, but it's just a really satisfying one. Yeah. So that's why, it's quite high on my list, I would say.
Yeah, so I think this is...
And the animal meeples. Maybe subconsciously that's why it's so high up. There's, oh my God, so many little animal meeples, and they're just the best. They're so cute. They're so unique.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah, I think this is a game that will be very divisive because I think it's not one for everyone. And I think a lot of people, I think there was kind of this big barrier where people really struggled with the rules and to get into it.
Yeah.
I think we both really enjoy it. We actually spoke about it on one of our kind of recent videos in the last few months where we got the expansion and we started replaying it with the expansion, and we really enjoyed it. And it is just a game. It's a heavy Euro, which we like, and we play it, and you can't deny it's fiddly. Every phase you're doing something different. You're kind of always having to reference, what are we doing now? It's tough. There's a lot of mental load, but it really captures the theme and vibe of a management sim quite well in board game form. I think that you've got to look after the breeding. Is there too much breeding going on? Or, you need to look after your animal welfare. You can't take this until you make your animals happy and show you can care for them. And, there's a lot. It's a really good, heavy game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, moving on to your number 14.
So my number 14 is probably one I'd be surprised if we don't see again on your list since it hasn't come up.
Okay.
But it is the Undaunted series.
Okay, number 13.
Yeah, and I think
14, sorry.
14, yeah. So we're, long-time fans of the Undaunted series. We've played all the games. We've done a buyer's guide, and this is the kind of now. Usually, you could say World War II simulation, but now it's just war simulation, where it's kind of two-player head-to-head, and you're playing this deck-building game, but also kind of an area control game / combat game on a map. And yeah, you're building your deck and you're playing these cards, and it has some really wonderful mechanisms, very tense, very tight two-player game. And we've loved all of the games, and we've just loved all the experiences. And I think really enjoyed the last game, Callisto, which was maybe my favorite besides the campaign version, which was Stalingrad. Just a lot of love for the system. I mean, it's a brilliant system. Brilliant series of games. We're always going to have them around and play them and keep playing them. Undaunted.
Yeah, okay. No comment. Maybe we'll see it later. I couldn't possibly say. But agree with all of your comments about Undaunted. Yeah, maybe I'm just surprised. Like, can you remember where you had it last time we did this?
I think it was around the same, maybe a little bit higher.
Like...
But in these ones, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough, but no. Excellent game. Just maybe say one thing, just for me, I always say this about this game, but it's so tense and you feel quite stressed playing it. It's almost like, oh God, I don't know if I want to play it. Sometimes we have to put it away because it's getting a bit tense now, but every time you get it back out, you're like, come on, let's go. Like you really feel like you're executing a strategy. Yeah. That's what I really like about it. But yes, okay, so number 13 now.
Getting down to it.
Okay, maybe you'll be surprised about this one. My number 13 is Quacks of Quedlinburg. Sure. So,
if you say so.
This is one of my all-time favourite games, obviously, because it's on this list. I think it's maybe fluctuating where it is based on recency of play.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. So I think this has got up to my number 7 around there at some point, but it's just dropped down somewhat just because we haven't played it in a while, basically. So yeah, this is just kind of a, I wouldn't say family game because it is a little bit more complex, but it's like the theme is a little bit silly, let's say. So it's a push your luck game where you're drawing tokens out of a bag and you're trying to create a potion, and you have different coloured chips that give you different powers, and you're supposed to try and put as many chips in the potion as you possibly can without making it explode. And some of the chips will make it explode basically, and they all have different values on them. But it's quite nice because it's progressive, so the more the game goes on, you can get more and more chips that have different powers. They get more values on them, so you should be always trying to go a little bit higher. But it's always that risk of, should I pull another one out the bag, with the risk that, the potion's going to explode. But it's quite cool because it comes with some different powers as well. So there's maybe 7 or 8 different colours of chips, something like this. But each one has a different power associated with it, so you can swap them around as well. So yeah, and we have like kind of all the expansions for it as well, which mix it up. But I just think it's a really wholesome, fun game, to be honest. Anyone can win it because it really is about just pushing your luck. So that's what I really like about it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I am a lot less big on this than you, but it's still a fun game. There's a reason it's so popular. And I'm not surprised it's in your top 20.
No, for me, it's like one of the ones I can more easily beat Farrell at because it is push your luck and you're more of a gambler, which doesn't always go in your favour with that game. So
you, consistently beat me. It's really annoying.
Yes. More sensible.
Yeah, that is true. So my number 13 is Dune Imperium Uprising.
Okay. So
this is one that we were initially, so the initial Dune game, we initially weren't cold on it, but we're like, yeah, it's okay. And then we ended up getting Dune Uprising just because we wanted to do a buyer's guide and compare them. And I think it was Uprising that really made us fall in love with the system, if you want to call it that. I do think the cards are better. So this is kind of the like combat, worker placement, deck builder mashup. Very tense, very tight. It's a race to 10 points. Very cutthroat and brutal and mean and tense. And I think we just, working on it for the buyer's guide, we really started to enjoy what it had, and it really grew on us. We have the expansions. I think they're great. So yeah, it's just I think it's a really brilliant game design, very tense, a lot going on, very different each time. And there's a reason it's so popular, and I also like it.
Yeah, we introduced it to some friends as well, right? Within the last
year when the
so.
second part came out.
Yeah, and that was also super fun. But yeah, agree. We really clicked even more with it than we did initially when we played Uprising. And now that you've just mentioned it, I kind of like,
I've wanted to get it out again for a long time. I always look at it.
Yeah, okay. Put that on the tray as well. Yeah, okay.
Let's say that we're going to have no trays left.
It's going to be full. Space. It's fine. Number 12 we're on now.
Yep.
So my number 12 is My Father's Work.
Wow. Wasn't this like an honourable mention before?
Yeah, was it?
I feel like it was.
Maybe. Well, now it's at number 12, okay? Don't question my list.
Great. I love My Father's Work.
Yeah. So this is a worker placement game with a little twist that it has some kind of narrative behind it. And
it's like scenario based, but there's a lot of like, depending on what you do, it alters the story. So there's supposed to be like really different scenarios within the same scenario that can occur.
Yeah, so there's kind of an app that goes along with it. You can read different things if you're a player like in secret. So it's a really nice mashup with worker placement and kind of resource management with also the app as well. I think the thematic side of it really shines through. So it's basically you are kind of in a family, you're trying to carry on your father's work. It starts with the grandfather, right? And they're doing like these wacky science experiments basically in a mansion.
Evil mad scientist in like Romania.
Evil mad scientist vibes.
In the 1800s or whatever.
Yeah, doing some weird stuff. And it's all about kind of doing as many experiments as you can in each generation. But you only get to keep a bit of the knowledge when it goes to the next generation. And then you keep... it's all building on top of what you already have. So to complete one experiment, you might need to have completed another experiment of the level below and also have some resources. So you're always trying to build up and ultimately you're trying to complete your father's work, which is this, the life's work where you need to have completed like a prerequisite of X, Y, Z. But yeah, you do lose a lot each round basically. But it's really cool. Like the workers can only do certain actions. Like you have this caretaker who's not really allowed to go outside. So he can only do actions within your player board because there's actions on your player board, but also on the main map. So you really have to think about who can do what at what time to maximize the actions. And it's very humorous as well. There's a lot of humor running through it. So I think that's why it
like the greatest
for me.
Part about it. So it is like a very basic worker placement game at the core, like not to, lower it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does this really cool stuff with the different characters. And I think the humor is terrific. And it's just thematic as well. Like the caretaker can't really go to the town because they're like, like an Igor type character.
Yeah.
Whereas like you have spouses all the time and your spouse can't really or they can run the experiments, but then they're so horrified they leave.
Yeah.
So you can use them, but then you lose them. And, so really you want them to go to town instead. And there's a lot of humor on the cards and the scenarios. It's just really funny and a really brilliant package, excellent production, some of the best board game components of all time.
Exactly, the little resources that go into your experiment. So I think it deserves be so far up, like you said. Maybe it was an honourable mention before, I can't remember, but just, when you look back over everything we've played, I just think it deserves to be so high because it's so unique in that way. Like, it takes things that are familiar, worker placement, resource management, but creates it. It's almost like they've done a wacky experiment in itself, and the final outcome of that is just chef's kiss.
I think it's brilliant as well. I really enjoy playing. The only, let's say the one negative is that, two negatives, is that sometimes the writing in the app can be a bit too verbose. And the second thing is that it is long. So you need to set aside like 3 hours, even at 2 players, just because you are doing these generations, and it doesn't feel long. It doesn't drag. It's just how it is. So it's like more of an event game as well. That's just the negatives, but very small in the scale of things.
Okay, your number 12?
So my number 12 is the exact opposite of all of that excess and shiny and flash. Mine is sustenance farming, Agricola. Yeah.
Oh, it's only number 12?
Yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised.
I think it's gone up. But, my number 12 is Agricola, a game about sustenance farming. We discovered this, we were late to it, so we only discovered it last year, and it blew me away. Absolutely fell in love with it. And I just really like it. I think even though it's old, it does all these cool things that like somehow, I don't know, either they weren't picked up or they were picked up and fell out of vogue again. That I just really like that it, does like the continuous like piling up of resources till someone takes them all. The brutalness of it, the fact that you get more and more spaces every round, the kind of fact that you have these cards which change every game, and that really changes the direction of the game. This is actually something we debate about, because I think you feel that like the cards that you'd have don't really change the game that much in terms of its arc, whereas I feel it does make the game feel different.
To me, it's much of a muchness, like, get an extra sheep, get an extra pig, and I'm like, okay, but you're like so different.
But anyway, so I love worker placement. This is really brutal. There's something about it. I just really enjoy the like old time Euro feel, the cards,
It's a reason it's a classic.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason. They're doing like the big edition, so I'm sure it's going to become popular again with the like kind of blinged out new version. So
okay, I do look forward to that.
But
although I quite like the old school kind of wooden components, but that's a good one.
But I think it does so much so well, and it's a brilliant Euro.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the final one of this first half of our top 20. So it is number 11, and I am so impressed that you've memorized your entire list so far. My number 11, I think even a month ago, this might not have been on there, but my number 11 is Pax Pamir.
Ooh, so it should be.
So this is a Cole Whirly game, right?
Yeah.
And
you could say as of 2 weeks ago, it wouldn't have been on there.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, we have not played this game in a long, long time. It's a bit of a theme for the videos that we've been putting out recently. There's a lot of games that we've been able to return to recently, which is super nice after like a big break. But it's about the Great Game.
Yeah, between like fighting imperial powers fighting over Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly. So you have different cards from the marketplace, which typically have kind of different historical figures on them. And you could all start out being kind of aligned with the same faction. And it's just a twisting and turning game, basically, a tale. Because at the kind of drop of a hat, essentially, you could decide to align with another faction. So it's all about trying to get kind of presence on the board so that you can get dominance. But there's all sorts of underlying sneaky things you can do, like sending out spies to the other person's court, having their people in their court kind of killed, I guess.
Yeah.
But you basically, it's just cards in front of you which give you access to doing kind of different actions. But they're in a way, it's quite simple. It's kind of tax and get money, move pieces around on the board, but it's everything between the lines, which makes this game so brilliant. It's so sneaky and devious, and things can just change so quickly that you can just decide, you know what, I'm not going to be aligned with you guys anymore. I'm going to switch and be aligned with like the British or the Afghans or whatever. It's so spicy. It's so spicy.
That defines it really well. I think it's an absolutely brilliant game. I think it's one of the greatest like sandbox designs in board gaming. There's just such a wealth of opportunities that you can do. I think the rules can be like a little bit sticky in terms of, there's like taxation. You can do this, you can't do that. If you play a card, you owe me. But if you can get a group who can like kind of get into it, I think very few games will give you the experience that it gives you. So yeah, really great choice.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I will go to my 11 and the final game of this list for me. And that is going to be an absolute classic. Some say even more of a classic than Agricola. And it is Ra.
Okay.
So Ra is the Reina Knizia auction game. And you're pulling tiles out of a bag and putting them in a marketplace, or you're starting an auction. And the kind of brilliant thing is that everyone has these chits with numbers written on them, and that's your bidding value. So you might have a 2, a 5, and a 7. And so everyone can see what you can bid. And the game is about, because you get everything in this marketplace, when do you start the bid? How much is it worth to you? How much is it worth to them? And it's funny how just 1 or 2 tiles coming out can like change everything, because some tiles are bad and it means that things can be worthless or really have a negative impact on a player, but then for someone else, they don't care.
Yeah.
So it's just a really brilliant auction game. It's a brilliant game to play with anyone, families, non-hobbyists. It always goes down well. It's always a laugh. And I just think it's a very, very brilliant design and something that I would always have around, always want to show people, always want to play with people.
Agree. This one is not on the rest of my list, but it was on my shortlist, and I felt sad to remove it in place of other things, but that's just how it be. I had hoped that you would have it on your list so that we could mention it. So agree. It is a fantastic game, but you can just play it with anyone.
I just never had a bad game of it, and it's just so much fun, and had such played with such a diverse group of people and had like such fun.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So that's it.
We're at 20 to 11.
Wow.
So I guess join us for the next part of this video.
Yeah.
Which will be number 10 to number 1.
Yeah, and obviously if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so you can see when it comes out. And feel free to ask us any questions about these games or any questions about things we like, in terms of the board games. So we're having a lot of fun doing this. We really hope you're enjoying it, and we'll see you next time for the epic, thrilling
the finale.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.